Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to some more Always Broke RC shenanigans. So today we took a road trip and we are out crawling with the Trx4. Bear with me if it's not the best video ever, because I really need to practice my crawling, and I'm also sitting on quite the hill, so I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to be focusing a lot on my rig today. But I just wanted to bring you guys along for just a second, let you experience what I'm experiencing out here. I'm just climbing a hill. There's a lot of washouts, and I'm not really going for super technical other than don't tip my rig down the hill, you know what I mean? All stock tires and everything, and just kind of testing it out, because where I'm at, there's not this kind of terrain. So this is different terrain for the rig, which is really nice to experience, but at the same time too, it also is a different crawling technique. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing so that I can learn how my rig's going to handle in this stuff, and just kind of have a good time overall though. So I've got two choices here. I can come up through this, or I can come over here. I'm going to actually choose to come up through this and see how we do. Because for me, it's more about kind of the gait comp crawling than anything. But like I said, where I'm at, there's not really enough people in the RC scene to do competition crawls and stuff. And at the same time, the reason I don't like to get competitive with competition crawls, but I like the challenge of like you're given a location to put your rig through. I don't like the whole rules about no backing up and all this. I like actually having to drive through the obstacle, not just winch yourself up, but actually have to drive through it. So as far as I'm concerned with my crawling, you would back up in real life, and you're gonna have to do real life things. So for me, this kind of RC crawling of actually having to drive. Now you can see there, my front body's hitting, but I really don't have a choice. I pretty much got to get it around there. So I had to force my nose up in that corner a little bit, back off a little bit so I could reposition my back end by giving it some wheel speed. Now I'm staying tight to that rock because I don't want the rig to roll, so the rock is supporting my rear tire. And folks, we're up and out of that ravine. So like I said, I'm just on top of the hill where all the big gondolas and stuff are, and I'm just kind of trying to pick my way through it, see what would be exciting and see what's doable and stuff. There is no set gates. I'm just out having fun on this Saturday. There we go, had a roll. Kind of wish this rig had better ability as far as the side hill, but it just doesn't. So that's just a factor you have to take in with this rig when you're crawling it. You want to be pointed uphill as much as possible, not really shooting side hills. But like here, I've got some brass on the front of it, so I'm hoping this brass can weigh me down and I can get it across. Also, I can wiggle my servo maybe, kind of keep that nose pointed uphill. So, I know I talk a lot in my videos how I need to upgrade this servo, and it's very true, because if you have a good servo, guys, you're able to maneuver your wheels a lot better than I'm able to with this stock servo. Also, with these tires that I've gone through water and stuff a lot, I'm starting to notice that the foam is breaking down, and I've lost my sidewall ability pretty well on my tires. My tires have kind of, in a way, broke in. So when you first get the rig, it's really firm and everything. But because I've ran mine through the water and everything, I managed to get water in my tires, thus causing the foam to break down a little bit and stuff. So my tires are gonna act a little different than most people's, just because I've done all that. There's my K9 Dax. Everyone say hi to Dax. He's my stupid buddy. He usually doesn't get go RCing with me, but as long as he has his toy, he can come with me. Because if he doesn't have his toy, he will just bark at the RC. See how he comes over and inspects it? Like he wants to bite it. Let's put it that way. Tell me if any of you guys go RCing with your K9s, and while you're at it, tell me the breed. Tell me how old they are. Just have some fun conversation about RCing with your dog. So here, I've given myself this. Between these two rocks is kind of a gate obstacle, right? So I don't want to really be on either one of the rocks. I want to try to go through the rocks. That's the whole purpose of gates, is you're trying not to touch them. You're trying to get through them without touching the gates. So like a bonus gate might be like right here, between that brush and this rock, where you're gonna come up and change direction. So as I'm out crawling a lot of times, guys, I don't bring gates with me. I just try to set up my own challenges and imagine how I might set up gates for someone else, right? So like this would be a bonus gate, because now I've got to drop off this hill between there and not lose it, right? So that's a little more challenging, especially for this rig, because the side hill capability isn't that well. So here, I also don't have drag brake on, so I'm gonna try to really slowly use my servo. See how I was turning my tires back and forth? Just drag my front end down. Once my front end's settled, I gotta really watch and make sure I'm get my tires where they need to be. There's your shot of like max articulation for this truck, and you guys can see here how this front tire is forming pretty well, but yet that back tire doesn't form as well. A lot of it has to do with just the weight I have on the front of this rig. But see, the bad part is when your tires like that, it actually the sidewall not really being there to support it, and the tread is actually rolled under, it's going to want to roll the rig. So I have to be really careful about that. And then I also have to be careful as I drop off, that when this tire drops, it's going to change how my rig is sitting on the hill. So I got to go really careful with all that tire flex and stuff. So even though these are stock tires, guys, I mean, they're not the worst stock tires on the market. So there, I dropped it down nice and slow, but I'm also using my body to kind of hold me up. So, all right, so I'm off. Now here, I'm getting a little bit much. So I'm actually, in this case, gonna try to turn down. You have to just go really slow, guys. And I mean, even going slow, you can still kill it. But the thing about crawling is, I mean, sometimes you just really got to go, leave it next. You got to go really super slow. And that's another one of my problems with competition, is they want you to go fast. But you can get a lot of things done by just literally creeping them. So what I'm trying to do here is get my front passenger side to drop the weight down. So this tire right now is super high in the air. I have to use all of that brass that's in the front of this rig to get that brass to go down. But at the same time, I've got to creep, and I didn't get it. So like here, if I change the rig, right? I've changed the rig kind of back to how it was. I'm not going to get it there because it's too steep of an angle. But if I come across at it, I'm going to try to reset my rig up here. The batteries fell out. Give me a sec. Leave it, Dax. Dax, go on. Get your toy. Sorry about the dog barking. He gets super excited about RCing. So here, if I see I'm not gonna make that, then I might have to turn downhill if I can and just change my initial path. Because that's the beauty of getting out and RCing with no gates and stuff. I'm able to kind of get how I need to get the obstacle done. So what I did there, guys, is I'm trying to get my back end to drop down the hill. So I'm using my back end up to get that back end around, but the problem is my front end keeps dropping down the hill. And that's the problem with having a lot of weight in your rig, is it's gonna wanna pull that nose down every time. So you gotta really work it if you're gonna get it. But I'm not gonna get it on this, guys. So I'm just gonna actually come down the hill and continue recording. Like I said, I would spend all day working on that obstacle if I wasn't filming, just because that's stuff that I like to do. I like to find something that I know I can do, even if it takes me a minute to get it figured out. So like here, I know my tip point is getting really close. It might not look like it, but leave it, Dex. That's what I mean. Dex just keeps coming over to inspect RC. So I just got to go really slow across here. And as long as I go slow, that brass on the front of it should hold the weight of my rig how I need it held. Also, sometimes rather than turning uphill, I might need to straighten my tires out and then slowly cut them up. So when you're side hilling, if you got your tires cranked all the way and you're trying to side hill, it's actually going to roll you downhill. So sometimes you just need to straighten out a little as you side hill. And I'm going to lose it there. So the reason I'm going to lose it here is my back tire here is basically folded under. So that's why right now in the crawler competition world, there's a product called anti-foams. Three Brothers makes them and a few others. And they're really popular because they continue to support that sidewall while allowing for your tire to contour to rock when you go up on it. So you want your tire to flex on the rock, but you don't want your sidewall to collapse. Because when your sidewall collapses, you get stuff like that. It's just not very good. And it also helps if my battery stays where it needs to be. But I just have it Velcroed in here. It came out of the Velcro, so I'm just throwing it in here. So obviously, guys, if I wanted to be super good right now, I'd have everything how it needs to be, tight and organized under there. But like I said, I just came out to do some personal RCing. I climbed halfway up the hill and then said, you know, I'll just make a video. It's not going to be the best video today, but I just wanted to make a video, give you guys some content, and let you see what a Trx4 High Trail Edition on rocks will actually do to it. Get the toy, get your toy. How it'll actually perform on rocks. And like I said, I have not changed any of the oils in this rig or anything. It is still stock. The only thing that's not stock on it is the brass I've added to it. And the brass has been really beneficial for me. Might not be for everyone, but I will say this: if you're gonna add brass, be strategic about it. Don't just dump 15 pounds wherever you want. Because too much brass is bad. And you need to remember how your weight distribution on your rig is laid out. Also, one thing I'll recommend is I'm going to show you guys this obstacle right quick. Is I would probably get rid of that stock front bumper and get you some better approach angle. So like here, even though I have 2.2s, my approach angle on my bumper would probably be hitting right there with the stock bumper on it. But because I've changed out my front bumper, I'm actually able to just get right up that. And we're going to just go right up that nice and easy. So here I'm getting a little wheel spin, so I just use a little servo and kind of help drag the rig up. Once again, weight is a great thing, but you also got to remember when your back end's trying to go up, that's weight can hold you back a little bit. So that's why I say be careful about adding too much weight in certain areas. You need to be really aware of how and you're adding weight. So here, the obstacle is just kind of run through the rocks and not hit that rock. So just kind of drop on the rock and around the rock here. So here, I'm hung up on my back axle. See there? I'm hung up on my back axle. So I can continue to try to pull it. I'm not going to get anywhere. But if I back up and change my angle of my rear end just a little bit, maybe I bring it up. So here I'm going to actually climb that other wall just a little bit. I'll drop my back end around, getting that portal off that rock, and I'm able to complete the obstacle. Another reason also, guys, on the competition world I'm not a big fan of it all is this truck. Actually, I asked someone the other day what class it would have to compete in if you were going to take it to a competition, and it basically would have to compete in class 3, which is totally ridiculous, because if you know anything about the competition world, class 3 is pretty much servo on axles. I mean, unlimited class basically, Capras, things of that nature. And yet this rig's supposed to compete in class 3 just because it's got 2.2s on it. I think that's a little sad. Even a class 2, I think, is a little unfair for this rig. I think it might hold its own, but not really. I still think this would be more of a class 1 rig. So what if you got big tires on your class 1? You know, I think class 1 needs to be more your realism class, where you have a full-size body and, you know, things of that nature. I don't think class 1 should just be tires inside fender wells and hard bodies and stuff like that. That's just my take on it all, but also that's why I don't get super competitive in the RC trailer scene, because there's just a lot of things that I would do differently about it. I'm not saying that those of you who do it are wrong. More power to you if you do it and you're good at it. But for me, you know, it just kind of holds some of us back from enjoying it as much as other people, because we like certain rigs certain ways, and we're told, oh, you have to compete in this class if your rig is this way. So here, I'm just seeing if I can get up this. Probably won't be able to, but might. Oh, there we go. Got it. Got what I needed, but my back tires might hold me back on this obstacle. Because in order to get my back tire up on that rock, yep, it's going to throw me over. I was afraid of that. So a lot of times when you're looking for lines to do and stuff, you got to be really aware of kind of what it's going to cause your back end to do. So like here, I'm just trying to shoot up it under full bindage. I'm not going to be able to make that. So I'm going to do a little cheating on it. Leave it, Dax. Here's another great example of why you might change your approach angle on this rig. It sits really high, which is nice, but that bumper makes it so it doesn't work as well as it can. So here, I'm actually going to get up this obstacle if my back end will lock up, and not, I'm in loose dirt right now, but I can get up this obstacle because my small front bumper, which gives me maximum approach angle, which is not going to happen. But that's what I mean. You might consider changing out your front bumper if you're going to do some lines with this rig. If you're just getting a trail crawl, keep it as realistic as possible. Don't change the bumper and stuff. But if you want to come out here and actually do some things like I'm doing in this video, where I'm just trying to shoot some lines, you're going to definitely want to upgrade your servo and probably change out that stock bumper, just so you get a better approach angle, because you already have the high ground clearance. So with high ground clearance comes better approach angle. That's just given, and better departure angle. My departure angle is not great right now because I put it on a more scale bumper on the back of it, but that's just something that I wanted at the time. Well guys, we've reached the top of the hill. I'm going to go ahead and call this the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Like I said, sorry if it wasn't the best video in the world, but today I just kind of wanted to get out and go crawl terrain that I don't normally get to crawl because I'm out of town. So without further ado guys, get out, RC, enjoy the great weather, and until next time, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. Always Broke RC, over and out.